Hello and welcome to this presentation. In the next few minutes, we're going to learn about the live seafood supply chain. First, I want to talk about the nature of the live seafood supply chain. Every live seafood supply chain begins with the producer, the fisher, and terminates with an end buyer who sells to a consumer. And buyers include supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, or even schools. Although we need to consider that it is not unusual for fishers to bypass the whole supply chain and sell their catch directly to the consumers on the beach or door to door within the community. However, for seafood sold into more formal markets, supply chains can consist of combination of niche players like aggregators or distributors who transform, package, and move products from the point of production to the final sale. Therefore, possible routes fish cow may make their way to the consuming nation. They can export directly after harvesting, export after primary processing, after both primary and secondary processing, and they can export after harvesting to a third country processor, which will then re-export the product to the consuming nation. And the third country processor is a relatively new feature of the global supply chain. There are basic characteristics in this industry which makes it a little bit different with the other industry supply chains, and we need to consider them because they play important roles in the logistic management of the supply chain. Of course, I'm not going to talk about them, but keep in mind that with the low profit margins in this industry, errors can be severely financially damaging. Waste is already a major concern within the live seafood shipping industry, and utilization of the hybrid model of push and pull strategy is a way to attempt to reduce waste. About key attributes, the first one is product differentiation. The degree to which a product differentiates within the supply chain is the most informative attribute for determining the potential to influence the chain concerning sustainability. At one end of the differentiated spectrum are commodities which lack differentiation. These are high volume products aggregated from many sources which are considered identical and are not structured to track information about product origin. At the other end, we have differentiated products which are distinguishable from one another based on specific information, including harvest location, fishing method, fisher, and brand, which need more sophisticated data management and traceability systems to track and verify the information associated with the unit of differentiation. Some supply chains are driven by brands that dictate product specifications and other protocols that producers, processors, distributors, and end buyers must follow. This influential brand can affect local, regional, national, international supply chains. Relationships within the seafood industry typically are long-lasting, especially relationships between fishers and buyers. To the extent that trading partners' relationships are healthy and the product can be differentiated to some degree, supply chains containing such close ties might be among the most flexible and potentially open to implementing changes that could benefit the long-term sustainability. Many seafood supply chains are vertically integrated. All supply chain functions fall under single company ownership, with one actor controlling most major steps in the supply chain. On the other end of the spectrum are supply chains in which every function is performed by an independent entity, each working to make a profit. Depending on the type of production and product and location of the fishery, there may be a series of middlemen that commingle product for a single processor or distributor. On the other hand, some fishers may be nearer to the end market with option of bypassing the middleman and sell directly. The fishing industry affects several marine conservation issues, including fish populations, water pollution, and habitat degradation. Overfishing is a good example of the environmental impacts of this industry. With increased overfishing related practices and without sustainable management, many fish stocks are reduced to lower acceptable levels. In response to the environmental dangers, several governments and international organizations around the world have worked together to create and implement policies and strategies designed to reduce the impact. Strategies like define daily fishing limits per species or place restrictions based on seasons. Effectiveness studies have shown that these types of codes and limits prevent overfishing and help restore previously damaged ecosystems to a healthier state. Most of the big companies in the live seafood industry are based in Japan, the United States, and Norway. All these companies have vertically integrated supply chains that provide them with guaranteed access to product landed by their vessels, protects the company from ex-vessel price volatility, and allow for close quality and inventory control. There are two examples here of the activities that the big companies and the governments did regarding sustainability. Moby Company has a sustainability strategy called the Blue Revolution Plan. Based on this plan, they have some commitment to be part of the solution for the global challenges like climate challenges, plastics, and freshwater use. Or NOAA Fisheries, which manages fish populations through stock assessments, which measure the impact of fishing on fish and shellfish populations. Of course, there are more examples in the PDF file if you'd like to know more. Thank you.